Well, guys, I got great news for you. Kong Skull Island, much better than 1986's King Kong Lives. Kong Skull Island stars Brie Larson, Tom Hiddleston, John C. Reilly, and is directed by Jordan Vogt Roberts. Okay, guys, before I get into this review, I just want to let you know that after the rating, I'm going to talk about the end credits scene of this movie. So if you haven't seen it, you probably will want to leave. Unless you just want to know what the end credit scene is, then stay after the rating. So guys, it seems like just about 2 years ago, I started hearing all this news about Kong Skull Island and this cinematic universe with King Kong and Godzilla. As a matter of fact, Godzilla was the first movie review that I attempted to review, and I got so scared that I completely deleted the review, and it took me 6 months to actually record my first review. That's how scary this shit can be for some people. But the day is finally here. Kong Skull Island is released, and I got to watch it tonight. So let's go ahead and get into this review. So in Kong Skull Island, you have this research team with these soldiers. They go to this island in the South Pacific known as Skull Island. Most of them don't know what they're going there for. The only one that really does know what they're going there for is Bill Randa, who works for a secret organization known as Monarch, which is a government organization that tracks unidentified monsters around the globe. And that one line right there is what opens this whole thing up to the possibility of a cinematic universe. And of course, when they get there, the first thing they run into, you guessed it, is Kong. And if you've seen the trailers, you know that Kong is freaking massive in this movie. This is the biggest that Kong has ever been. He's probably at least 3 times bigger than he has been in previous movies. But let's talk about what I liked first. This is a different take on a King Kong movie. The last 3 King Kong movies all were pretty much the same plot. Not only was it a monster movie, but it was also this really emotional drama. This is the King Kong movie for action fans. It's kind of like when The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton came out, and it was the Hulk movie that was just straight up action for the most part. That's kind of the situation here with Kong. It's not 3 hours long. It's 2 hours tops. And I like that about it. It's a nice alternative to see Kong just really kick ass and fight big monsters. And that's the first thing I really love about this movie is the action. Right away at the beginning, you see Kong and he is protecting his home turf and he's taking down these helicopters and it's awesome. But the big payoff is at the very end. There is this massive fight and you get to see Kong in all his glory. And at that moment, I felt like a 10-year-old again. And that's what this movie is in a nutshell. You get to be a 10-year-old again. That's what I love about it. But there are also some interesting characters, I think, in this movie. First off, Bill Rand, played by John Goodman, he is a pivotal character. He is the one that takes them to this island and wants to expose Kong. I was very curious about this whole Monarch organization, even though we don't find out that much. And then you got Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson, who don't know fully what they're getting into, but they are curious. Brie Larson plays Mason, who is this photographer, and of course she is the one that establishes kind of a relationship with Kong. And then Tom Hiddleston, he plays James, and he is a retired special forces guy, and he's brought in because of his badassery, I guess you will. And then you got Samuel L. Jackson, who right at the beginning, he gets majorly pissed off at Kong, and his sole mission throughout the rest of the movie is to take out Kong. He hates him. And so in a way, he's sort of an adversary to Kong. My favorite character, actually, and I didn't think I would dare say this, was John C. Reilly, because in the trailers, John C. Reilly looked like that character that's just annoying. And he does have this joke that just falls flat in the trailer. And that joke's in the movie, but after that joke, he really is the heart and soul of the movie. Right at the beginning, you see that he was this soldier in World War II and this Japanese soldier. They both get trapped on Skull Island. And they ended up having to work together to survive. And I like that message. You got 2 soldiers from 2 completely different sides of the globe. And all they are trained to do is kill each other. But all that kind of sheds away once they realize, I have to survive, otherwise I'm going to die. And they become great friends. And I guess that's a good way to get into the cons, because if they wanted to go even more of an emotional route, or maybe just put this in like an extended cut, I would be interested in seeing that relationship that was built between these 2 soldiers back in World War II. Now, I'm not saying like add another hour to the movie or anything, but maybe just another 15 minutes would have been really cool. Also, the first 30 minutes of this movie, you might lose hope. Mostly because the jokes just fall flat. I believe there were at least 3, maybe 4 writers on this thing, and whoever wrote the comedy, for the most part, didn't do a great job. And that is my biggest flaw with the movie. But After that first 30 minutes, once it kicks into gear, once they find John C. Reilly, then it gets really interesting. So in the end, I would definitely give Kong Skull Island a purchase worthy. I had a great time with this. And it's definitely a movie that when it comes out, I'm gonna wanna buy it so I can really give my sound system a workout. Okay guys, now we're gonna talk about that end credit scene. If you don't wanna know what that end credit scene is, then I suggest you get out of here. But if you do, stick around. So in the end credit scene, we see Mason and James, Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, and they're in this room and they're like, what the hell's going on? Why am I in this room? And then one of the other guys that was on the island, he reveals to them that, hey, this is a much bigger issue than you know of. They're thinking that it's just King Kong, but no. And then they reveal this slideshow that actually shows all these other monsters. And the first one they show is, of course, Godzilla. But not only Godzilla, they also show Mothra, Rodan, and King Rhodira. And if I wouldn't have known anything about the cinematic universe, can you imagine how awesome that scene would have been? But I mean, everybody that goes into this knows what they're gonna get with that end credit scene. But it was still really cool, and they played Godzilla's roar at the very end. So I'm excited for 2020. I mean, a fight between Godzilla and King Kong would be awesome. But can you imagine if Godzilla and King Kong actually team up and they end up fighting all these other guys like Mothra and Rodan? The possibilities are endless. So anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on King Kong Skull Island? Looking forward to hearing them. Also, if you want to talk more creature features, come on over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day, every day. And on Fridays, we do Free for All Fridays. If you look down below, you can see all my social media links. If you like what I'm doing, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.